Day 476 of the journey begins. Let's lower that a little bit. Okay. All right. Pardon the pause while we make sure all of our chats are set up. All right, I think things are good. So once again, welcome to day 476 of the journey begins. We are in Overmorrow currently. Mending our tools. And it sounds like, yeah, okay. So it looks like our game audio isn't coming across the stream, but it is in our headphones. So let's I have to go be right back on that. So maybe we'll just forget about the game audio for a moment. Yeah, because I don't see anything coming across our audio mixer from our capture. Oh well. Welcome in, Steven. It was set earlier, so welcome in. That is. We had our headphones set to the game PC, not our stream PC. Welcome in, Alex. So we are connected there. We are gonna go be right back, but just for a second while we make sure our audio is set up. And we're back. There we go. So it looks like our game audio is coming across. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we were working on some other projects later, and we had our headphones connected to our gaming PC instead of our streaming PC. Welcome in, Lindsay. Hope your Monday's off to a good start. And that's a good question. What is our... Oh, we can turn, but can we move? Oh, there we go, there we go. Okay, there we go. Welcome, Enoch. Ah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so we need to repair our light a little bit. So I guess we'll start off the stream a little bit mending while we some intros. Welcome in, Goonies, for me too. So we are in the journey begins realm. We're at Overmorrow, mending our tools. We're gonna head over to Inkwood and work on the ravine in a little bit. If you like these kind of slower, low-key streams, you know, feel free to pass them along if you like them and know anyone else who might as well. We are trying to grow. Welcome in, I Like Fish, and Freddie and Bailey. We are trying to grow to 300 followers on TikTok and 100 and making affiliate on Twitch. And our VODs are going to YouTube, so please watch over there as well. Welcome in your boy. Let's put that there. Yeah, I think that's fine. We need some cobblestone here. Oh, do we have signs? Okay. Because we need to mark, we want, we need to make the library here at Overmorrow, which won't be big, just a small building for our main character to inhabit, like a 2-story house with a secret basement. Welcome in, Owen. Well, we almost got that repaired, so we should be repairing our tool pretty soon. We'll just spend a couple minutes here going over some of that. Welcome in, Dot. So in Inkwood, that we're going to fly to after we get our shovel, maybe a minute at least halfway. Welcome in, Alexis. We're going to continue working on the perimeter of the ravine. So the idea is that Inkwood is on one side, semicircular. And one side of that will be a ravine that is 60, 70 blocks tall. We might take it down to bedrock. I don't know. Welcome in, Jade. And then the backside of Inkwood would be kind of a large lake system that feeds into some smaller waterfalls on each side. And that's what fills the ravine with water. And then we'll have some kind of cobweb, campfires, things of that nature to kind of give a little mist at the bottom. So we want it to be deep, but we also want that mist effect to be visible. Right now we're kind of debating whether we have a trade route road go directly through Inkwood, or if it's more of a node. And if it does go through it, do we go through Inkwood? Do we make it a node, or do we do both? I guess is the question. Welcome in, Ethan. Doing both would potentially help in that it would be a longer path, having to go around like a mountain that borders the ravine on one side. Or kind of forcing through Inkwood and then having a bridge or something on the backside. And the reason we go through Inkwood is because of the rough terrain on either side of the ravine. Oh, thank you. Oh. And welcome in, Gabriel. So that's kind of our plan for our evolving plan for. And on that note, the kind of happy accident that we mentioned the other day is our portal in Inkwood actually comes out in our Wither Skeleton farm under Haven's End. So we're gonna make either a gradient or a solid color Welcome in. I live on my own. Or live in my own world. Either a solid color or maybe like a gradient, but something where you don't know that you're in the nether, because the idea is that you're going through a portal in Inkwood and then ending up in this library. Or like, so it's like kind of concealed or hidden information. Well, everyone there knows that it exists, but it's not something you would see as a passerby. Welcome in, Casey. And so the Inkwood library is actually going to be at negative 17,000, 20,000. So that's like negative 2,100, negative 25, 2,600 in the nether. And we're almost there in the practical tunnel, which is really, really rough, but we'll fix that up as we go. Because the goal is that we want to put big enough that we could maybe put like a minecart or something so you can get there a little quickly. Welcome in, general. But then also be able to fly from one end to the other so that if you're not following the rail and want to just kind of get there quicker to the library, we can do that too. So that's the plan there. And so once we get our portal set up there, then we'll probably work that into the rotation as well. So with that, then we'll need to fix up our gold temple a little bit, although that is more or less roughed out. Welcome in. I love G&B. Yeah, we'll need to fix up the gold temple a little bit. I mean, it will also be in the rotation, but it's mostly framed out. Welcome in, Cassidy. And then we'll also need to lay down the framework and decide where we're even going to put Oasis City. Welcome in, 40 boy. Right now, welcome in, Toby. Right now, we're kind of mending a little bit. We want to get our shovel up to about half. Then we'll go work on our ravine in Inkwood. But we ran out of time last night to get this done. Okay, let's put that in there. Oh, potato. Welcome in, Kale and Shadow. Oh, put that in there. Okay, perfect. Welcome in, SKG and Athena. Are we done? Yeah, so now we should start getting the shovel. So it shouldn't take too much longer. A couple more minutes. We try to do a little bit of this more towards the end of the stream, but since we're going to need to do some digging, we need to do this up front. And we didn't get to it last night. Welcome in, Reactor CA. Welcome in, Miko. Alright, well, when they stop bouncing with the caravan. Yes, I think that lays out things. So once Oasis City is framed out, location picked and framed out, that should cover a lot of what we need for our story. Welcome in, Luke's. Because another piece that we'll want is, I think, an ancient city. But we'll need to kind of revamp it for our story purposes. But that's effectively framed out. And we'll have two stories, I guess, going on side by side. So we'll have a journal entry from a, architect kind of character. Welcome in to oh, yeah, and then we'll have an actual, more of a long-form writing project. So one will lean more into kind of like fan fiction Minecraft, and the other will be its own story that we're building something you could walk through in Minecraft, which is where Overmorrow, Inkwood, those places come from. Whereas the journal would lean more into like villager villages, Enderman, ancient cities, trail ruins, more recognizable. Welcome in, Leroy. And Jardin. Not too much longer. We want to hit just this side of the green. This in there. We have a potato cooked. Drop that in. Do we have any... What could we combine? Could we combine these two? We have enough experience. We do. Alright, so what these two? Oh. Nope. These two? Okay. We put in welcome in RSM, our anvil here, so that as we get some of that armor, we can repair it. I mean, so we have something to spend our experience on. And this will then feed into like our leatherworking shop or armor shop. Welcome in, Star, and if you have any questions about the story, Minecraft, our streaming setup, anything kind of the builder spec, gaming, feel free to drop it in the chat. And feel free to share the stream if you like our low-key story stuff, which we haven't seen a lot of today yet, but it is there. It is coming. Almost there. I'd say probably 10 to 15 more zombies and we'll head out. We try to keep, like we said earlier, keep some of this to the end of stream and off stream. Some of the more, what we call kind of the admin task of just mending the tools. But it is a task that eventually we'll either keep it admin, but work it in periodically as like a community chat day, something like that. Once we hit our goals. All right, so what do we got going on? all of our stuff is mended. We have some of this that we can drop off. Welcome in. Villain. The zombie flesh we drop off over at our cleric hall. In exchange for emeralds. So we're trying to build in some kind of trading mechanism in each of the cities and towns to up our emeralds. Because it is a private server, even though the world is publicly available. And we want to stick to kind of the villager currency of emeralds. And we can do more with that, so we can, you know, we could do more trading to add more emeralds to the world. We can build with emeralds or chuck them in lava to get rid of them if we need to decrease it, so we have more economic choices. We don't necessarily need to make it difficult. I know diamonds is common, but whether it's diamonds or netherite or whatever, we could do side trades for that, but the currency is going to be emeralds. Welcome in, Lime. How's it going? Welcome in, Fran. And Clifford. Alright, we're getting pretty close. We're in the yellow. I'm in Astro Wolf. What else? Welcome in, Ronnie. Oh, I guess we haven't left this spot yet. So welcome in, Spartan. We haven't left our XP farm. So when we go up to the top, we can at Overmorrow as we're flying. Welcome in, was it Ham something? Welcome in, Gaming. Welcome in, Georgie, that dog. How's it going? Alright, so we're getting close. Maybe one or two more. I do want to get over to Inkwood and get some work done over there. Alright, there's one. Come on. Here we go. Okay, one more. Welcome in, Random. Dark Star the Dragon. Welcome in. Come on. One more. Oh, I guess we can expand some of this too. So one of these paths goes over to our string farm, and then that goes over to our bamboo farm. So when we go over to the surface, there we go. Okay, that's good enough. We'll fly over to our end here. Welcome in, Adrian. This This is similar to what we'll want to do in our path from Inkwood to the Inkwood library. But instead of being more decorative, we want it to be more more solid colors or gradient, so not so much like hallway decoration, but more like portal. Oh, I wonder, welcome in, masked officer. Ooh, let's grab our shovel. Oh, he wants to charge your lot. Alright, so we'll just drop those off then. Now we'll drop off our dirt. We'll take a sleep so that we don't have any phantoms bothering us over at Inkwood, and then we'll reset our spawn over there. Oh. And while we're here, maybe we'll grab some carrots. This is where we probably need to be more active in our gold farm, so we can make golden carrots, so we have more make better use of our carrots as far as replenishing our hunger and the saturation of hunger. Welcome in tune. Somewhere over here. Oh, there it is. This chest we're running to is our dirt box. We're collecting that here because we'll do a quick flyover. The sand here is going to be converted to dirt, so it'll be a grassy spot. That will lead to some keeping things in mind. Ooh. Did not notice the moon was round before. Thought it was more square like the sun. We don't have any mods or data packs or anything. Maybe that's the fancy graphics? Fancy setting? Or they changed something in the fancy setting. Anyway. So the the experienced farm, which is over here. Next to that scaffolding over there. So that tunnel we took leads under here over to the cleric's hall. The other tunnel that we saw when we mentioned goes to our string farm. But there's a tunnel, there is another tunnel that goes from there over here to our string farm. And so there's a cave spider spawner down there. If you're going to use cave spiders, remember that they're not as tall as regular spiders, so a half block gap is enough for them to get through. You'll need to use something like trapdoors or something to reduce the gap. And we have 2 spider spawners in there, and we'll introduce those later. Welcome in, Angel. And then from here, it's about 60 blocks down. Our string farm has a tunnel that goes under all of this over to this big hole in the ground over here. And that's where our bamboo farm is. Welcome in, Kosi. And if I pronounce anybody's name wrong, feel free to drop a pronunciation guide in the chat and I'll do my best to correct it. And that's the recap for now. Let's take a sleep and then head over to Inkwood. So we'll probably go through the tunnel, gather a little stone there while we're going. We get a little work every time we go somewhere. So it's less of a project when we actually sit down and make it a project. Welcome in E2 or E2012. So this is going to be our trade route, which roughly follows our storyline. So the storyline is on a 45-degree angle from 0, 0. 45-degree in the negative X positive Z quadrant. So it's the southwest quadrant. We don't want it to be quite so straight, so some of these tunnels will veer off from that, but that's kind of our true north, if you will. True north in the southwest direction, I know. Alright, so this tunnel, obviously, this needs to be a lot shallower because it needs to be caravan accessible. What can we can drop off. Actually, we probably could drop off quite a bit of this. Okay. So this is looking pretty good. It does need to be a little wider, so. So this is what we're talking about, widening it just a little bit each time as we go will help. When we come and spend, we'll come in. Spend time, like spending a day on revamping the tunnel. We'll already have little bits of it done. See that this line is kind of goes too far under the ocean that we don't want to deal with, so alright, so let's hook them in smurfing. So we can make this a little taller here. And we'll need to make it deeper too, probably. 33. Well, we can go up and down with it, even down here. We just don't want it to be too steep anywhere. Yeah, so this big patch here is gonna come out. Welcome an angel. So this all needs to be wider. And somewhere over here, yeah, we've got we probably can't go too low there, but we need to put some this is where we'll need to spend more time, not just a pass through. Welcome in saucy. So now we're just kind of passing through on our way to Inkwood. Welcome in Walkstar. I think welcome back. Welcome in Jonas. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh. Alright, so this is can we put anything in here? Okay, there we go. Some mayonnaise gets joined. Well, thank you for joining in the stream. As far as playing on the server, we're keeping the realm itself closed. However, every 6 months we make a backup of the world and put that on GitLab. So if you go to linktr.ee/mindtripmedia, you'll find a link to GitLab there. And that will have the world download. So the most current one, I guess, would be January of this year. And then we'll do another one in late June, early July. And the goal there is to take whatever work we've done and move it forward with your own story, own ideas. There's a lot of big projects that are started, so you can finish whichever ones you want or tear them down or whatever you like. I mean, I know creative projects are, well, creative option is easy enough to with like well, whatever the equivalent is on Bedrock for like Matica, things like that are easy enough to rebuild things, but this is a survival Bedrock from the beginning. The only time we use creative is when we do the world downloads. We make a copy, and we make that copy creative so that we can take some screenshots of our progress in the Nether. But as far as the realm, it's always been survival. Welcome in, Avi. And on the language thing, I don't mind non-English. I guess with the caveat that it would follow the same guidelines as English, you know, being respectful, encouraging, not spamming, you know, that kind of basic stuff. And a language that I can Google Translate. Because unfortunately my little bit of languages other than the English are not as good as I would like them to be. So yeah, no other languages are fine. Welcome in, Nana. Just you know, keep that in mind, and if you are, you know, bilingual plus, and you can put your native language plus how you would understand it in English, I would appreciate that as a chance to learn. All right, so need some more cobblestone out here probably, so we can drop off some of. Well, we probably drop off all of this really. Cool. Okay. Welcome in, Jasmine. All right, so yeah, so this is gonna need to be made way shallower as well, like to fit the caravan path, but this should help represent the idea of. You saw the other one had a like line down the middle, so it'd be kind of like a cave entrance exit to get under the ocean rather than an exceptionally long bridge. And then once we're here, we'll have a path somewhere up here. Where does it start? I think it starts up here, maybe. Yeah. So we won't follow all of it probably. Well, at least not on foot, but see, yeah. So we have our path here. All this, but we're gonna need to sleep soon, so we'll jump up. But you can see kind of carved out spot, the dirt in there. that will go into the mountain, which since we're needing to sleep, we won't go make a pass through there this time, but we need to widen and decorate that as well. But it will come out over here. This line is going to cut more straight, so we're going to need to rework that a little bit. We'll follow this, well, dirt path for now, but we'll fix it up as well. That dirt bridge there will be replaced. It's just a practical placeholder for now. That bridge will be updated, and we are now in. I will fly up to our observation. Welcome in. No, and some symbols. Right, so where's our platform? All right. So this is just an observation area. We might turn it into the clock tower later. We'll see. But this is the road we were talking about. Yeah, it comes down here, comes over. We'll put a proper bridge or something here. When we see things like this isn't how we're going to leave it. They're just placeholders to help guide builds. Same thing here. We won't leave these kind of flat walls. We'll taper them, make them look a little more natural, more like over here. Welcome in someone random. Nice name. And our cobblestone here with the torches are to kind of help see us, or help us see how far we need to make our ravine, if it's wide enough, how it feels. We'll probably replace some of that to give it a different texture, but we need some lines to help us kind of dig between. So instead of coloring between lines, we're digging between the lines. You can see our wall here. So this area will be filled in with dirt, but we're not going to level Inkwood like we did Overmorrow. We're going to try to work with the terrain as much as possible. So we'll probably leave some of the hill stuff here. We're just going to level where it gets close to the wall, at least on that side. On the back side, we'll probably let the wall stay up because we didn't raise it already. Or we, at least for now, that's the plan. We could raise it up a little higher and maybe have stepping down into the buildings back there since we don't have too many. So we'll see how that goes, because I think that's 63, 64, so it would be like 3 or 4 blocks below our standard height. Welcome in, Luke. Okay, I heard some clicking going through on the audio there. Yeah, so we have 3 villagers back there, so this is going to kind of populate Inkwood as we go. Where is it? Somewhere back here on one of these mountains is another small village, and then there's another village straight back on this hill here. The buildings aren't rendering, but it's back there. And so that's how we get in. We take them through a little passageway in the hill here, through the lake, and this is kind of our dock for now. So that's how we'll populate this. We weren't sure what to make this building here, but I think as we're thinking about the story, this might be our warehouse, trade center, something like that. Because it's not a trade city like Overmorrow, but it needs something to handle the goods that come in and go out. And I think that's a sufficient size that would fit that. And the reason we put that there is while the straight walls over here we're not going to keep, we're going to taper them. That's because we created them. Any of the terrain generation, the Minecraft terrain generation that creates these flat walls is like chunk borders that we're trying to preserve. Which I need to verify at some point. I think there's some ways in Bedrock we can see the chunk borders. We don't have the like F2 that Java does, at least not yet. Welcome in, Andy. But I think there are some tricks for that. So at some point we'll look into that and verify that that is the case. And if it works, then that means like these buildings that we've preserved can be kind of subtle ways to help us recognize kind of chunk borders in the world. Welcome in, little miss. Oh, and random thought, if anyone is more of an audio engineer and knows any good websites or anything to check out for making the audio better, let me know. We're using Tokyo Dawn and a V plugin with OBS and our Shure SM7B mic. It's much better than it used to be, I think, but it probably could use some tweaks. Which on that, we also updated our thumbnail today for the stream, so we're going to try to remember to do that as well and try to be more professional in our streams. So if anyone likes any of the changes or doesn't, you know, feel free to drop your thoughts in the chat as well. But anyway, that is Inkwood in a nutshell of where we are so far anyway. I wonder if we have any dirt over here. We could fill that in a little bit before we ravine. If we don't, then we'll just work on the ravine, and 2 isn't enough. Yeah, we don't have enough, so we'll just try to remember to save some. Oh, the Twitch chat is having some issues. So we need to take this out, take this out. But I guess this won't hurt to level. But we probably should put a torch here, at least for now. And yeah, we were on probably the west side. Welcome in, Madison. How's the Monday going? Welcome in, Kyle. Grab this, okay. Where are we? Okay. I don't know if it would have to be a permanent thing or some kind of mending that you could add. Well, not mending, some enchantment that you could add to a tool. But something that you could add to a tool, armor, anything like that, that would add your your pickup radius. Okay. Which I think Stardew Valley has something like that. I forget what it's called, but basically kind of like increasing the range of a magnet, so you get to pick up the items that you drop from farther away. I don't mind it needing to be right on top of it initially, but sometimes it feels like I miss a lot of materials because I have to go back and collect it because I wasn't quite close enough. Like they feel close, but I wasn't close enough to actually the game mechanics. Okay. So we'll put in some dirt here. Right, and then we can fill that in. bring that up to the ground level. Welcome in, Astro. So, but do we have any more? We don't. So we'll just have to down some dirt. Okay, so that just needs to be brought up, I guess. This feels pretty good over here. Let's grab a carrot. And, you know, let's just follow this. Okay. We'll take out the stone here. Round this out. Don't want the kind of overhang for this piece of it. As we come around the corner on the side there, we can do that maybe, but... right here, we want this to be more... at least on the inside, and then we can kind of taper it later. Right here? Okay. Perfect. Put that in there. Wood. Oh, we have more than we need. Okay. Uh-oh. Alright, so that takes care. Take care of this zombie here. Level this out, and now, oh yeah, so this is the path we were working. So we wanted to widen this a little bit. Okay. And we need to do a harder stop today. At about an hour, so welcome in, Antone. So in another 1 minute, we need this to stop for a different project. So we'll see how much we can get done in that amount of time. Right. The water on this side is lower than the water on this side. Although, did we add? We might have added some water in here. Although, well, we'll have to see. When we get to the lake on the other side, we definitely didn't do all of that. So let's go through. Yes, this is fine. Okay, so that should decay on its own. Get rid of this dirt so that we can focus on our not switching tools so much. There we go. And we can just do some up and downs on this. And then we'll take what, 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes. We'll take a back. And see how things are going. Did we have enough? Okay, so we need to put another chest here. Oh, we need to make more too, because this is going to be our last. Oops. Stand there. That's collecting there, so we can put that away. Well, we can get more dirt out of here later, so we'll just keep one of each. Okay. Yeah, see, this is what I meant. Like, these look close enough that I should be able to pick them up without having to... Increasing it to 2, 3, 5 blocks away, something like that would be nice. It doesn't have to be like, out of the box. It can be through some kind of enchanting. I mean, I know inventory struggles are a thing, so either, you know, enchanting kind of doesn't take up as much inventory, but I wouldn't mind a tool necessarily. But I would want it to be a tool that, at least for me, a tool that you could add to like your armor ability, like kind of like the pendant or something that you have in other games. And I guess you could limit it maybe by only giving you one slot, so you could have to choose kind of like with the beacon. But then I think to help players that are more long-term players and have gone through that, you know, initial playthrough, and now they just kind of want to build. Welcome in, Mark. You could add I don't know, a mob or something like the Wither or something where when you fight it, you unlock or get some kind of item that you can then craft something that will let you combine. Call them amulets for now. So like increasing your block pickup rate, maybe increasing your reach or something like that, like the crab claw kind of thing. So you could combine those with this. Granted, I like kind of the crab claw idea, you know, making things more... what was that before? Oh, that was a carrot. But you could still kind of maintain that idea. So call them amulets for simplicity, but you could take maybe a crab claw and a magnet. And when you combine them, you get, you know, magnetic crab claw. Which would put a little bit more on the art team, but having to come up with however many features, whatever combination of those you would need, what happens when you combine 2 or 3 of them and whatnot. Do you kind of take that, make them unique for maybe 1 or 2, or make them unique for like 2? And then you have, like, once you start combining like 3 or 4 features, then the art doesn't really change. It's just, it's more like your shovel, like it just looks netherite, but then the things stack on it, so kind of or maybe it maintains the first feature that it had. So if you're starting with the crab claw, it just always looks like that, but it stacks on the other mending stuff or other enchantments. Okay, okay. So we'll just dig through the dirt on this side. This needs to be widened out. And oh yeah, we're at an hour, so we'll collect our dirt here. Are we? Much of that as we can. But we don't need the seeds. Oh, let's get that out. Oh, we're gonna pick up the seeds again because we didn't have enough items. Okay. Now we should be able to pick up the dirt. Okay. Okay. But yeah, I think that would be welcome and heal. However they want to implement that, I think that would be a nice way to add less cumbersome things than the beacons. Like I like the beacons for light, for haste, when you like need it into an area, especially for maybe more early stuff. But when you start doing a lot of bigger builds or continuously doing it, then it's a lot of time having to fight the wither multiple times to get enough of them, and the beacons, even once you have enough beacons, having to place enough of them or move them around becomes kind of cumbersome. So I want to avoid that. Well, or a way to let players go through that, but then also allow players that have been playing for longer not have to grind as much or grind in different ways. So adding sand to the box without taking sand away is kind of the approach that I give. But anyway, we're gonna have to call our stream there. We have some other things we need to do, but we'll give a little panorama of Inkwood as we go around. So yeah, so this is the lake area. This is where we're focusing right now and kind of widening this out to this, filling it with water. Once that's done, this will also be a little bit deeper, but not like the ravine, and just more like a deep lake, feeding in the waterfalls on the side, one in the middle, and then one over here. That will come around. So we need to do some work over here too, but get the idea. So the water would go from the wall there to there, so a nice wide ravine with the water flowing deep below. That's the plan. And then rounding off that, we don't want square corners. We want to maintain the blockiness of Minecraft, but then when we're building these things, have it more feel the attempted roundness of like the hills, so not jagged. Blocky, but not jagged. So things are coming along there. I think that's a pretty good width over there. And then, so we had that line coming the back here. So this is going to have to come down a little bit, which is fine because we'll take out the dirt here and then we'll move it in the back here because we want probably the height of this hill back here to extend over to wherever the ravine starts over here. Not our most ambitious project, but still will take some work. And that's our plan. I think that's going pretty well. So with that, yeah, thank you for joining The Journey Begins. Thank you, Jonas, for chatting, and Nana for the follow, and everyone on Twitch as well. Excuse me. Everyone on Twitch and YouTube for joining as well. If you want to follow more of what we're doing, you can check us out on Linktree. So it's linktr.ee/mindtripmedia. That will have links to our TikTok, the VODs for this, our Twitch, Blue Sky, Pinterest, our Mostly Lego YouTube channel. The VODs for this, our GitLab if you want to download the world, all of that is there. And we will see you tomorrow when the journey continues. We'll be doing more work on framing the ravine. That's the plan. So with that, thank you again for joining. See you tomorrow when the journey continues.